This segment of the news is brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.
Welcome back. With the opening of public schools set for this coming Monday, October 5th, with virtual and face-to-face instruction, the Ministry of Education is ensuring that students are prepared. Some 5,000 plus students will be provided an electronic device by the ministry. This coming from Education Minister Jeffrey Lloyd during a virtual talk show with a local news station.
Those students are the ones on the lunch voucher program, and we have identified some 5,000 plus students. So they will all be provided a device. The distribution of such devices have already begun, particularly in the Southern Islands, and those devices will be distributed to the students here in New Providence and the other family islands beginning this Saturday at any Alive store. So that's number one. Number two, in addition to devices, there are many students who also do not have internet access. That's why we are working with our care centers, churches, who have committed to us that they will be able to provide internet access for those parents who wish to access those facilities. We also have our libraries where there are care centers. We also have urban renewal, some 9 or so centers across New Providence, certainly, that have Wi-Fi access, which will be provided.
Minister Lloyd says that the ministry has partnered with Cisco and they've committed to providing Wi-Fi capabilities in 12 much-needed areas in New Providence. That facility and its installation should be completed by next week. Minister Lloyd also spoke to cost.
It's going to cost us pretty close to $10 million because in the first instance with regard to tablets, as well as for those students who are on the lunch program, we have to provide internet access. So we have collaborated with the Alive and the BTC in the provision of tablets, both for our educators as well as for our students. So it's going to cost us up to little north of $10 million.
Minister Lloyd advises parents that when it comes to education, the country is in a different space and time, and what they would normally invest in school supplies should be invested in an electronic device for their children and a reliable source of internet. Bain and Grantstown Member of Parliament Travis Robinson didn't get an opportunity to present his contribution to the debate on the amendment of the Bail and Jury Act in the House of Assembly this past Wednesday. So he took to social media on Facebook to express his anger after not being allowed to speak. The MP said that the speaking time delivered to him was 3:30 p.m. However, around 2 p.m., the House moved directly to the third reading and passing of the bills. Mr. Robinson took to Facebook to express himself.
Now, as you would note, my speaking time is at 3:30 p.m. in the afternoon. However, no notice was given to myself as the Member of Parliament to indicate that the House was going to move to the third reading and passing even before I had my opportunity to deliver my presentation on behalf of the people of Bain and Grantstown who elected me to serve for them. It is very unfortunate. I am highly disappointed, and I see it as an attack on democracy, and the actions can be likened to the stifling of the voice of the Bahamian people.
According to Mr. Robinson, when he reached out to find out why he was not allowed to speak, it was relayed to him that the opposition had walked out of Parliament, thus ending the debate. Mr. Robinson contends Parliament should have suspended the proceedings to figure out who would speak next once the opposition made the decision to leave.
This is not what our country is about. And this is not what the people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas deserve. Every member of Parliament was elected to represent the voices of his or her constituents. I have been fighting for the people of Bain and Grantstown from day one. And the people know the work that I have done, the extra sacrifices that I have made, and that I do not continue or intend to stop with my contribution to the people of Bain and Grantstown who gave me the opportunity to fight and speak on their behalf.
Subsequently, in the Facebook Live video, Mr. Robinson presented that contribution he would have presented in the House. The Bain and Grantstown MP says he is not merely another number or vote, suggesting that if one disrespects Travis Robinson, he doesn't care. However, he says one will not disrespect the people of Bain and Grantstown. He contends that their voices deserve to be heard, and that did not happen on Wednesday. In news from the courts, 49-year-old Sean Bain faced Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson Pratt yesterday on one count of extortion and another count of fraud by false pretenses. It's alleged that on September 28th, he extorted $75,000 from Paul Baker, knowing he was not to demand. It's also alleged that on the same day, he, with intent to defraud, did obtain from Paul Baker, drawn on the account of Lifestyle Construction, the amount of $75,000 paid to Bain by means of false pretenses. Bain pleaded not guilty to both charges. He was denied bail and remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections until he returns to court on December 2nd. And Commissioner of Police Paul Roll and other high-ranking officers went into the Rock Crusher and Pinewood Gardens communities, giving out school supplies along with food coupons. Dubbed as Commissioner Day, the chief of police says that the community outreach is a part of his policing plan, and each month he plans something similar in various communities throughout the capital.
We are going to be presenting to the children in this community some school supplies. We have some school bags, and also we have some sandwiches and some drinks.
With public schools set to begin on Monday using virtual platforms, Commissioner Roll and the police force donated about 30 tablets to the Cleveland Aeneas Primary School. The commissioner noted that he has a special relationship with the community of Pinewood, as he was a resident of the community for a number of years. Shannon Young, mother of 2 school-age children, says the assistance from the police will go a long way, as she's not been to work for some time. She adds that it's good to know there's a helping hand when she needs it the most. You're watching JCN News. Stay with us.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.